Hello. Perhaps you've heard some conversation throughout the community that the City Council is considering building a new fire station. I want to take a few minutes today to explain to you how we got to that point and why it is that we're considering spending millions of your tax dollars on building a new fire facility. When I joined the City Council back in January, this topic came up, and my first question was, well, why is it that we need a new fire station? What's wrong with the current one? And I was presented with a list of health and safety concerns that our 40-year-old fire station is not up to code compared to modern regulations for fire stations. And we'll touch on a few of those here momentarily. So then my next logical question was, well, can we retrofit or remodel the current station at a cost savings? And the short answer was no. It would cost as much and potentially more to retrofit our current station as it would to simply build a new one. So that's how we've reached the point in the conversation about building a new fire station. Among this list of safety concerns that was presented to us, at the very top of the list for me is the fact that the leading cause of death amongst firefighters right now isn't fighting fires. It's exposure to carcinogenic chemicals through the line of their very dangerous work. And we've got firefighters in their 30s, 40s, and 50s that are regularly dying of cancer. They already are subjected to the dangers when they go out and fight a fire, but our particular fire station and the way it's designed compounds that problem. As you'll see in some of the pictures here, the place that the equipment is stored is immediately adjacent to where the fire trucks are and where their exhaust comes out. And because our fire station is situated where fire trucks have to be backed in, which is a very slow process in the very narrow space that they have, the area that our firefighters put their gear on and take their gear off in is filled with exhaust, which is even adding to the cancer-causing agents that they're exposed to. Not to mention that it degrades the equipment that they have at a faster rate. So there's a variety of reasons that our current fire station is inadequate in terms of making sure that the people that are so bravely protecting us are protected themselves. A new fire station would have stalls that open on either side, which would allow trucks to pull in and pull directly out, reducing the amount of time that exhaust is filling that area. They would also have hoses that connect to that exhaust, which can extricate the exhaust and those harmful chemicals and poisons in rapid fashion. So minimizing the exposure to those things for our firefighters. If you would look at Eden Prairie or Chaska and the way that their fire stations are set up where they can pull in and pull directly out, that's considerably similar to what we would have with a new fire station. Another issue that came up is that our current fire station, and this was brought up by our assistant chiefs when I spent some time at the fire station recently, they pointed out that they can't do any critical training at the current facility. They have to take the firefighters off-site, oftentimes renting areas or bringing in trailers at cost to us as taxpayers. And so that's not very cost-effective. A new fire station would allow us to have virtually all training done on-site, and over the course of time would save us considerable money. Another issue with the fire station at its present location is in that 12,000 square foot facility, we have only about 500 square feet of storage. And you can imagine all the equipment, and you can see some of it here in the photos, all of the equipment that the firefighters have to have for modern firefighting, and 500 square feet of space is just not adequate anymore. A new fire station in its preliminary plans would have literally double the amount of space, about 24,000 square feet, with considerably more of that allocated towards storage. Some of you may be aware that there was an addition to the fire station made in 2005. Another bay was put on, as well as some office space. That was at the time intended to be a 10-year fix. We're now 16 years out from that addition, so it's outlived its usefulness. Another thing that I think is worth pointing out is that our fire station now responds to as many calls in 1 month as the fire station did in an entire year at its inception back in 1980, 1981. And that's a byproduct of the immense growth that we've seen over the past 40 years. In 1980, 1981, when the fire station first went online, Waconia's population was less than 3,000 people, just a little under 3,000 people. Today, we're north of 13,000 people. And that growth has also meant that what was a once centrally located fire station is no longer centrally located. And that would be probably the last and final point that I'll make. If we can relocate the fire station to one of the two locations that we've narrowed it down to, and if you're not familiar, look back at some of my previous posts and you'll be able to see those. But if we can relocate it to one of those spots, the firefighters will have much better response time to every corner of the community, making everyone in our community safer. And quite frankly, we're looking at locations that would address response time out into the future, looking at continued growth. So this is not something that we intend to come back to people in 10 or 20 years saying we need another new fire station. We're looking for a fire station that can serve the community for 40 years like the previous one did. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns about this matter or any other, as always, I encourage you to contact me because, as many of you have heard me say before, government works best when citizens are informed and involved. And after this video, hopefully you're informed, and I welcome you to get involved.